Hey everybody. So I just finished up this album that I've been working on for a few months now. And I've been using Reaktor 6. As far as getting the modular synth workflow into a digital environment, it's just, I don't know, it really clicks with me. And so I've been making my own modules in Reaktor 6 in order to make this new album. Themes from an Undying World is this new album that I just put up on Bandcamp, and it'll be up on streaming platforms whenever. I just wanted to go through some of the blocks that I've actually built, right? Some of the modules, which Reaktor 6 calls blocks, right? But some of the modules that I programmed in Reaktor 6. I'm also going to be releasing the blocks that I used on this album, or most of them anyways. Most of the blocks that I used on this album. So if you have Reaktor 6, you can download these yourself and use them. And I'll give some audio examples of what these things sound like too, as we go along. So the first thing that we should probably get a sound source in here. I made this little oscillator, and now the interesting thing about this is it's actually using it's a qubit sample pack, basically, right? I'm a big fan of qubit stuff. I think they're pretty cool. And on their website, you can actually go and download like their wavetables and sample packs. You know what I mean? So I just threw sample pack in here for this, right? And so this is just a wavetable oscillator. And now it kind of has a problem in that it sounds garbage on its own. But we can listen to it real quick, right? Yeah, so the big idea with this though is that we've got the same wavetable. Well, you can change where you are in the table for the left and right channels individually, right? So let's check this out. Right, so you get some wild stereo effects, and now I've been using this for a lot of drones, you know, and I'll throw up some audio examples for that. But yeah, I've been using it for drones because it doesn't really sound good as like a regular sort of oscillator. I do want to make like a second version of this because the way that I have this running right now is kind of silly, to be honest. But whatever. We'll fix that. Maybe I'll do a little video on that, and we can actually build it together, right? Right. So let's say that we want to sequence this. So I made this little sequencer. So if we come out of the X output is the pitched output, and the T output is just sending out gates, right? Or triggers, you know what I mean? So the output is only 0 to 1, right? So word. And it's not quantized. So I'll actually go in and throw a quantizer at this real quick. Sick. So yeah, word. Yeah, cool. So the basic idea with this one is it's also using the same sample packs, right? So we're loading in the sample pack information here. Yeah, so basically based on where in the sample it's reading from, it gives you different pitches and different time divisions. Cool. So check this out, right? Yeah, so we get different, so it switches between basically, you know what I mean, like whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, 16th notes, and all of the triplet divisions inside of there too, right? Yeah, so all of these knobs just basically screw with the positioning that you are in the sequence and how all of these things sort of mess with each other. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, the track that I have, which is Temple of the Mountain God, was sequenced with this one. Right, so we've got a sequencer. That's pretty cool. The next thing that I want to talk about real quick is the filter. So if we take the output of this, go into here, yeah, right, let's get a lot of harmonic content, right? Anyways, so you can see that, yeah, so that's kind of garbage. Right, just a regular little filter. But the interesting thing about this is, so this has 4 filters, right? In pairs of 2s, right? So they're all stacked on top of each other. And then as you change the tilt, it basically just spreads out the voices, right? Or the different filters. So check this out. Word, right? It really sounds cool with some resonance. So let me crank the resonance real quick. Yeah, word. So that's pretty sick. 4 filters that you can spread apart in the stereo field. So that's pretty cool. The next big thing is the delay man. Now, this is an interesting module. So what it lets you do is write to an array line. So this top line up here, and I'll actually get, so let me turn the wet all the way down. Yeah, cool. All right, so the top line is the input. What we're doing basically, we're writing to a tape. And then from that, well, we can read back the tape at whatever position we want. All right, so it's constantly writing, constantly writing. I mean, you don't have to be constantly writing from this thing, right? It gives you the option to stop writing. But yeah, so you then get this tape and you can read back from any position that you want from it. Cool. So let's check that out. So firstly, dry signal. And then I'll bring in the wet. Word. Yeah, so then you can change like the left and right read positions from this tape, right? So the input, you're writing to the tape. The read positions are like what you're really screwing around with. So that's pretty cool. And the track faulty transmission array. Really like showcases just how wild this freaking plugin can be, right? We're just messing with the tape position, and yeah, basically why messing with the tape position is just so freaking cool. Yeah. Yeah, so we've got some Bob James cooking up in here. Anyways, yeah. Yeah, so check out how wild that delay line sounds. That thing is sick. Yeah, so anyways, this thing is freaking cool. The only thing, so there's a problem with this though, in that whenever the write head and the read head are like, you know, accessing the same array element, it doesn't interpolate things. So I'll have to fix that in a future version. But anyways, one of the cool things that I let people do with this delay is you can actually come out of the feedback loop and back into it. So the way we do that is we go out of these, here, I'll just show you with the blocks actually. So there's these two outputs, right? They have little arrows, you know what I mean? So you go out of that, and that goes into whatever effect you want to send that crap through. And then, so let's come out of the bandpass, right? So right now, oh, that's so funky, yo. Anyways, so yeah, so right now we can hear that it's not really doing much, but that's because we have to change this knob right here. So there's a knob that's labeled with the little, you know, little arrow thing, right? So once we switch over to that, we'll actually start coming out of the external feedback loop, right? So let's check that out. Yeah, that's freaking sick. Yeah, that is sick. That is some cool stuff. So, anyway, so yeah, you can already see how just freaking wild you can get with that crap, right? So yeah, that's a popular technique that I used in a lot of my songs, is using basically this configuration here, right? Just the delay that's going into this stereo filter and running back through the feedback loop, right? Which is modulating the frequency of the filter, and you get just crazy, crazy effects with that. But the next thing that I want to talk about is something that I'm calling the Filt Coder. Straight up, this little guy, this Filt Coder that I'm calling it, eats up the CPU for breakfast, right? It looks at the CPU like it's a tasty snack. And the reason is because this thing is running 64 filters. Okay, this was inspired by that one Buchla module. I don't even remember what it's called, but it's a spectral processor, right? So basically, it takes an input signal, splits it into or uses bandpass filters to split it into 16 different channels, right? Based on whatever frequency it is. So yeah, if we just look at this one channel right here. So the carriers, right, go into, yeah, so this is 16 different filters, right? And the frequencies are based on just a preset, defined table, right? That I actually stole, the frequencies from the, what's it called again? From the Buchla module, right? So splits it into bandpass filters, 16 of them. The modulator comes in, we do the same thing. We split that into 16 different bandpass filters. And then the modulator is sent into, 16 different envelope followers, right? And then what I'm doing is I'm multiplying those two outputs together. So each of the filters is being multiplied by the envelope follower of the corresponding modulator, right? And so the effect that you get is, it's a vocoder at the end of the day, right? So the carrier, right, is generally what we want like our melodic content to be, right? Because we're changing the amplitude of the carrier based on, the amplitude of the modulator, right? So check this out. Yeah. Yeah, so we can see that the saw wave, the amplitude of that saw wave is following the envelope of the drum loop. Cool. So let's say that we want to, I think a little chord would be cool for this. So I made a bunch of these little oscillators, right? Or not a bunch of them, but, they're just little guys, right? So they're pretty cool. But they're not very easy to like tune. You know what I mean? So I actually made something that lets you just tune these however you want. So yeah, check this out. Awesome. Let's get some pitch in here. So now, right, if we change the tuning, so maybe we'll make this an octave lower, and we'll make this like, a minor third, and maybe we'll make this like a minor 9, right? Let's check this out. Yeah, right? That's freaking sick. Anyways, that sounds freaking cool, right? And that's again with like the delay and everything up here. So now this thing, because it eats up so much CPU, we're actually having the sampling rate for everything in here, because oh my gosh. And I also made a mono version. So now the interesting thing about this is it would 100% be faster just to compute the FFT and use that instead. And it would take up less CPU, but with this, the interesting thing that you get is the width, right? So each of these bandpass filters, you can change the width of the band. Yeah, so check this out. So of course there's applications for that. You can use that for whatever you want. If I were to try to do that with the FFT, I don't even know how I could do that, to be honest. But anyways, that's just like a neat little benefit using bandpass filters as opposed to the Fourier transform. But now, maybe I'll do that in the future, because again, having so many filters just destroys the CPU. So so it is what it is, right? So there's some racks that are showcased in here as well, that you can check out if if you download this. Yeah, so this is a good example of the vocoder here in action. Right? So that's pretty cool. Yeah, so so anyways, this is, yeah, so this is pretty cool. Pretty funky stuff. Word. Yeah. Weird, wild shit, right? Yeah, so this one, yeah, so that one, you know, it's kind of easy to pick out in the album, but the interesting thing is I changed the bass line and input. So I have a compressor in here, but I'm also just compressing the hell out of everything once I get out of this. And this one was just so disgusting, but it started off with this rack, which is interesting. So yeah, we'll play it again real quick. Yeah, so this is an interesting one, and it's using an earlier version of the Delay Man module that I called Array Man. So yeah, all right. So we'll end this here. Now everybody wants to hear some techno. And this album is not full of a lot of techno, so I'll leave you guys with this little tune. Yeah, so this one, so this is an interesting example of what you can do with the filters, right? Or with the delay and the filter pair. So this is a filter over here, and like an older model of the newer filter, and again, this is an older model of the delay, right? So putting them together, throwing some chords at it, you know, some dub shenanigans. You get this cool little patch. Anyways, go check out the album. The album's freaking sick. Themes from an Undying World. I think it's a cool album. You know what I mean? It's like got all of these like modular elements, but I was able to implement them in Reaktor 6. And I think that's pretty cool. But anyways, take it easy, y'all.